I hope you're all well. Today I am bringing to you an Instagram controls my day video. Now this has been done, I've already filmed it, this has been done in such a way that it's not a case of me like leaving the house and doing a handful of things and you helping me choose what it is that I do. It's a staying home, looking after myself, self-care kind of cozy one. I have been full of a cold for about 10 days, and on Tuesday I made the decision to do an Instagram controls my day kind of video, but I wanted to make it fun-ish in a sense that I'm not leaving the house, where normally I would do these videos. I'd be going to a bookstore and I would let you pick which bookstore I go in or which books I buy, etc, etc, and then where to go for lunch and, you know, any other errands that I have to do or any other shops that I decide to go in or whatever. You guys help me pick those things. This is a case of like picking a book for me, picking an activity for me to do, picking my lunch, picking some snacks, things like that. More of a self-care kind of controlling my day type of video. So I do hope you enjoy it on that basis. But before we do get into exactly what it is that you are going to be controlling or Instagram is going to be controlling, I did want to thank the sponsor of today's video, who are Serious Readers. You may have heard me talking about them a handful of times. I am obsessed with this lamp. Serious Readers lights are incredible. I love them. I do have the high definition light. It is the floor one. You can get the table ones, you can get the floor ones. Mine is one of the more sturdy, heavy duty floor ones, so it tends to stay in this room. On occasion it may move into my bedroom, but I absolutely love it. It has entirely changed the way that I read, in a sense of I don't get as many migraines due to eye strain anymore. This light has daylight wavelength technology, which means that it replicates the sun as closely as technically possible, which really does help with the eye strain and therefore the knock-on effects that I used to get with the eye strain as far as my migraines are concerned. So they are massively reduced, headaches as well, and it really helps in that sense. But overall, it is just an incredible light that really brings my library together. There are so many things that you can do with this. You very easily flick it on and off. You can brighten it massively and dull it down a little bit more. You can also focus this as well. So it can be a wider I don't know if you're actually going to be able to see that on camera or not, but you can widen the focus, make it more focused on your book or whatever activity you're doing. This isn't just for readers, it can be for any kind of activity that you do. But overall, I absolutely love this light and I cannot recommend it enough. So if you are interested in getting your hands on one of these, there will be a link to Serious Readers in the description box down below, along with a code that I have for you, which is Steph, and you can get £150 off as well as free UK shipping if you're interested. So please do feel free to go and check them out because they are absolutely fantastic. I cannot recommend them enough and I absolutely love working with them. Thank you again to Serious Readers for sponsoring this video. And now let's get into past me explaining where we're going to go with this video. I'm looking forward to this. I'm also a little bit nervous. If you cannot hear, I am very unwell at the moment. I'm full of a cold and I saw this as an opportunity to, albeit I'm not resting because I am working, but kind of take a little bit of a rest day. Take the day to just sit, chill, maybe do some fun things and just do some reading. I'm not going to sit here and do any work today other than filming this, and just kind of take the day to have a little bit of a relaxed day. I am still going to try and plan my way through a book today, but just trying to relax myself a little bit. We'll see how that goes. I usually tie these in with maybe going on a book shopping trip so that you guys can help me, well, Instagram can help me pick what books to buy maybe. But I went to the bookshop Friday. I'm not going back today, so we won't be doing that. I don't know if I'm necessarily going to leave the house at all. I may nip out and go for a walk. There is something I could do with going to the post box and posting, but I may nip out for a walk just to get myself a little bit of fresh air. It might do me some good, but I am full of a cold, so I'm kind of seeing it as almost a rest day as well. So sort of things that I'm going to be asking y'all to help me out with is picking my lunch, picking, I want to do maybe a bit of an activity later, either, you know, playing on my Switch or doing some colouring. I even have a jigsaw, so maybe I could do one of those instead. I'm not 100% certain what else I might ask. I may ask about snacks. I might go and get to the shop and get some snacks maybe while I go on my walk. I could ask about that. So yeah, I'm not 100% what else. We'll figure it out as the day goes on. But the first thing was my book. I posted the question yesterday. I haven't looked since, but I was getting a lot of responses and it was pretty close with at least 2 of the books. So let me run through with you what the books are. I did decide to do this on an emoji level because I didn't want to, it would have become a popularity contest. You'll see why in a second. But if it looks like I'm crying, I do apologise. My eye just will not stop leaking because I've got such a runny nose, so I do apologise. So the first book that I did have and the emojis that I chose to use, I had How to Make a Horror Movie and Survive by Craig D. Louis, and the emojis that I decided to use were the next take, or whatever the frig it's called, board, the clapper board. I used blood, I used a knife, I think, and then also a filming camera. I'll show the emojis here. Those are the emojis that I used for this one. I'm very excited about reading this book and I think it will be a fun time to read in one sitting. So I picked that. Then we had Phantasma by Kaylee Smith, which I used the likes of a skull, a rose, the swords, and I think the magical stars because it's a romantasy. So I think I picked those for this one. I'll show you the emojis here. As you can see, this is why it would have become a popularity contest. So I kind of wanted to use the emojis. I don't know if maybe using the cross swords gave it away a little bit, and maybe that will end up winning on that basis. Usually everyone picks everything that's got the cross swords in it. It depends, I suppose. And then the last one was Just Like Home by Sarah Gailey. This is on my 25 books in 2025. I think it's one of the books from my 12 books from 12 friends. And I should have read this by now. I used a ghost. I used the boarded up house because it's a haunted house story. I used blood and I used a pink heart because it's pink and I struggled with what else to use. So I'll show the emojis here. So this was the other one. So yeah, I was like super feeling, this is my Patreon buddy read and I do need to get to it for the month. And I feel like to get through it in a day would be better, especially with my mood, the way that my mood is right now with my reading. So this was what I decided to choose for my books. I was clearly very much so feeling like a horror, but you know, I slipped that fantasy, romantasy in there as well because it's a book that I should be getting to really, with it being my Patreon buddy read. So let's find out what was the winner. So let me just open this from the bottom and then immediately take a screenshot so I can... looking. I haven't looked, I've taken that screenshot, I was looking out the window. So let's have a butcher's. I'll pop it on the screen here for you now. Ooh, okay, fair enough. That is a lot of votes. That is a lot of votes. 1,292 people saw that, which doesn't seem like a lot considering I've got over 10k on Instagram, but it's not very often I get that many people seeing my stories, so fascinating. So in second place with 144 votes, we had How to Survive a Horror Movie and How to Make a Horror Movie and Survive by Craig D. Louis. I do want to get to this at some point, to be fair, but it's not going to be today, and that's okay. And then in second place, we did have Just Like Home with 199 votes, which is a phenomenal amount of votes. And then the winner was, in fact, Phantasma by Kaylee Smith. Maybe the emojis were just too obvious that this would be a romantasy, you know? Maybe that's what it is. Maybe the cross swords mean fantasy and that is it. And people are like, yeah, I'm going to pick that one because it's fantasy. I don't know. But regardless, 232 votes. It's a pretty good amount of votes. So we're going to be reading this one today. I am looking forward to reading this one. It is a romantasy. I think it's following a woman whose sister's gone missing and she ends up having to do some trials in the process of trying to find her or something. Welcome to Phantasma. There are only 2 rules to the game: stay alive and don't fall in love. When Ophelia's sister disappears, there is only one way to save her. Ophelia must enter Phantasma, a deadly contest inside a haunted mansion, and claim its prize, a single wish.
In a maze of twisting corridors and lavish ballrooms, Ophelia will face 9 challenges, each more dangerous than the last. Just as fear threatens to overwhelm her, a mysterious stranger offers her a bargain. Charming, arrogant, and infuriatingly attractive, Blackwell claims he can guide her through the lethal trials ahead. Ophelia knows she shouldn't trust Blackwell. Worse still, she feels a dark and irresistible attraction drawing them closer and closer. And in Phantasma, the only thing deadlier than losing the game is losing your heart. Dun dun dun. I'm really looking forward to this one. I'm really hoping it's good, and I'm really hoping that very quickly it grabs my attention, because I'm unwell. And because of my mood recently with reading, I feel like if this doesn't grab my attention pretty quick, like in the first 50 pages or so, I could end up struggling with this. So we'll see how this goes, but that is my first decision made from Instagram. I do need to continue on and pop up some more polls so that I can get the ball rolling with those. So I'm probably going to pop up what I should have for lunch, because it's only 9:25, but pop up my what I should have for lunch one. And then I might pop up a snack one as well, so I can at some point nip out for a walk and go get a snack. And I'll have a think about what else I could pop up as well. Oh, the activity one for later. I might pop that up as well, so that that's going in the background. And when I make a decision to, because I'm probably going to listen to the audiobook for this, but with it being my Patreon buddy read, there'll be a spoilery vlog for my patrons for this. So I do need to concentrate a little bit more. It'll depend on if I have time for activities today, but maybe I might be able to slide something in a little bit later if I get a good start on this morning. But yeah, we're going to kick off with this, so let's go downstairs, get ourselves situated and get cozy and get some reading done.
Another rainy afternoon, I don't know what I'm to do. I just miss you more than anything. It's way too quiet in the house, I'm just wasted on the couch, 'cause I don't wanna feel anything. Wish you'd stayed here beside me. This isn't how it's supposed to be. Wish you'd stay.
Literally just sneezed right before I came on, so if my eyes start watering, that's why. Okay, I'm 3 pages in, but it has immediately had me wanting to tab this book, so that's good news. It's definitely a good start to the book, that's for sure, and it's opened up immediately on something very interesting, so I'm intrigued to continue on. I have posted options for my lunch on Instagram, so we'll see what that says in a little bit. So yeah, let's carry on. Okay, some time has passed. It is 10 to 11. Actually, it's nearly lunchtime. I am just shy of 100 pages into this now. I'm 98 pages in. I am still tabbing. I'm really enjoying this. I'm having a very good time. Ophelia is now in Phantasma looking for her sister. Some stuff has gone down after the beginning of the book, in which some stuff goes down. Something happens. This straight off the bat is very, like, kind of pulls you in immediately with what happens in the first chapter, and from that it kind of snowballs into something else, in which then Ophelia's sister Genevieve decides that she is gonna disappear and try and sort this situation, and thinks that she's helping Ophelia out. Now Ophelia's not happy about this situation, and she ends up going to Phantasma, which is essentially kind of like, not really a circus, but kind of is. It's this gothic mansion that kind of, I think it just appears, and it happens every so often, but not a lot. And the idea is that there are 9 trials to get through, and you will meet devils along the way. And if you complete all 9 trials, you will then be granted a wish, I think, in which Ophelia is obviously hoping to find her sister in the process, but if she doesn't by the end, finding her sister will probably be the wish, maybe, or, you know, sorting out the situation that she's in. So, Ophelia is obviously in Phantasma. Now, there are 3 kind of things that can happen once you enter Phantasma. Either you die, very dramatic, you die, or you are able to leave, I think. I'm fairly certain that's one of the options, or you win. And not many people get past the 7th stage of this, I think. So, Posty. So this is the situation we're in at the moment. Ophelia has now met Blackwell. Now this in of itself is a very interesting situation, and I already love Blackwell. I love Genevieve. I think she's fantastic. I think she's really, really funny, and I'm really enjoying Ophelia's character as well. But I love Blackwell. He is so, naturally, he is so sassy, and I am obsessed. So I'm really enjoying where this is going so far, 98 pages in. I'm having a very good time. I'm interested to see what happens next. There are quite a few other, obviously there are other competitors, and there are teams, different teams. I think, again, there's like 9 teams, but with a different amount of people in each team. So Ophelia is in with a group of people. She's not made any attempt to get to know them too well, but we have got to know some of them. So we've got Lucy, there's Cade, there is another guy in there that's a little bit of a dick that essentially has, Ophelia's just ripped into him. What was his name? Eric. He was a douchebag. But they're all in there for different reasons. You know, some of these people's parents, their property is in foreclosure. One of them, their dad's just gone to prison. I think another one's in there with what's thought to be something to do with a murder. So they're all in there for a reason, clearly hoping to win Phantasma and get this one wish. And it's really interesting so far. It's very, I will say, terrifying. Ophelia does have OCD, which is mentioned in the content warnings at the beginning. And it's shown to us as the reader as this voice in her head, which gives very much so One Dark Window vibes. If you've read that by Rachel Gillig, it's a very good book. It's giving One Dark Window vibes. However, it's different. It's just a voice in her head, but it's done in such a way that for the reader, it's so that we can understand what exactly it is she's going through when she's thinking these thoughts about her OCD, and if she doesn't do this certain thing, she could die, or if she doesn't do this certain thing, somebody could end up hurt. And it's quite terrifying to see it manifested into an actual genuine voice in her head, and that in of itself is terrifying. I wrote at one point that this is terrifying, like literally wrote in the book, this is terrifying. But also on top of that, once you're in Phantasma as well, the horror element has started to kind of kick in a little bit, and it is kicking it up a notch. We've just had a moment where Ophelia has woken up in the middle of the night to a ghoul coming out of her bathtub, completely covered in blood and blackness, and just this horrible grinning smile on its face coming towards her. And it was, the way it's written so incredibly well. I was terrified. I was shitting my pants, let me tell you. I don't want that. No thank you. So I'm intrigued to see where this goes, and I'm having a good time so far. I don't know if this is going to be a duology or more than that, but I know that the next one is coming out soon-ish. So I'm glad that I'm getting into this now, and I'm having a very good time. So yeah, I'm intrigued to continue on with this one. Enjoying it so far, and I'm glad that it gripped me straight away, because that means that it's going to make for more easy reading this afternoon. I just need to properly like concentrate, because it has taken me a while to get to this kind of first 100-page mark. I have done a couple more Instagram posts. I've literally just done them, so I'm going to leave it a little while longer, albeit should we find out what I'm going to do for my lunch, because that would be nice to know. I probably won't eat something just yet. I did have some crumpets earlier, but I may eat something in the next hour or so, maybe 1-ish. I'll come back then and let you know. But I did ask about snacks, so I asked about some Haribo snacks, and then I asked about some biscuits as well, Jeff Cakes or chocolate fingers. I asked about a Cosy thing that I could do, whether it be colouring or gaming, and then I asked about a scented candle that I should light as well. I've made the decision that this is going to be, because like normally I would be like, okay, what should I do for dinner? Let's go out. What should I do for dinner? Let's go to the bookshop. Should I get this book? Yes or no? Should I get this book? Yes or no? Should I go into this bookshop? I'm not doing that today. I am trying to rest and help myself rest a little bit. So we're making this an Instagram controls my day cozy edition. We're staying in. I will nip out to the shop to go and get some snacks, and I will nip to the post box to drop off the letter I need to drop off, but Otherwise, this is going to be a cozy edition. So we've picked to read, we're going to pick my lunch, we're going to pick some snacks and a activity that I can do as well, and a candle that I can burn. And if I can think of some other stuff, I will let you know. But it's going to be a cozy edition, probably more low-key than anything. We'll see how this goes. It's essentially just a Phantasma reading vlog, but with some Instagram picking my cozy shit to do today. I don't know. We'll see how it goes, okay? I'm a bit limited because I'm so unwell, because I am feeling the worst today. Absolutely typical, but I'm feeling the worst today that I have all week since I've been unwell, and I'm convincing myself that it's the shit coming out of my body, essentially. I'm hoping that's the case. So we'll see what happens, but yeah. So I'm gonna go and continue reading for like another hour, and then I will come back and let you know what I've decided to do for my lunch. So let's do that. Okay, it's now 1:30. Let's find out what the results are from the other polls. Struggles. I want to find out about my lunch and my snacks. So let's have a quick butcher's at lunch. Okay, cheese, pasta and chicken for lunch. Yum. My hyperfixation at the moment has been pasta with cheese on top, and I've got some barbecue chicken, so I thought that I would add that in and just to add some protein to that lunch. So I'm getting my hyperfixation meal, always a win. And then as far as the snacks are concerned, between the Haribo sticks and the Haribo, what are they called? Balabites. The sticks have won, so I will get those. And then chocolate fingers or Jaffa cakes. Chocolate fingers have won. So I don't know if people are just voting for the top thing. I'm not sure. So I'm gonna nip to the shop. I'm gonna put the water, boil the kettle and put the water on. I need a wee. I'm gonna boil the kettle and, oh, I just took a screenshot of my home screen for no reason. I'm gonna boil the kettle and nip for a wee, and then I'm gonna nip to the shop and get the snacks, and then I'll come back and I will make my lunch. So let's do that. Shop, my pasta is currently on. I got myself an orange Lucozade. I really could do with the energy. I did get my chocolate fingers, but they didn't have the Haribo ballistics, so I improvised and got a similar thing but apple flavour. I did also treat myself to a Milky Way as well, a double one. Treating. So yeah, I'm getting ready to make my cheese and chicken pasta. Yum yum. There may be some judgment for the state of this, but I am not a chef. And I'm unwell, so it's a very simple thrown together pasta with cheese and some of this barbecue chicken thrown on top. And now I'm starving, so I'm gonna eat. Alrighty, I'm here to wrap this video up. I don't know how long this video is going to be. I don't know how it's going to have turned out. I don't think it's going to be a long video at all, I will be honest. But I don't know how well it's going to have turned out because I haven't edited any of it yet. So we'll have to see how that goes. But it's 2 days later. It's now Thursday. What happened on Tuesday was that obviously I have been unwell. I've been full of a cold. I am feeling much better, thank the Lord. I do still have a sniffle. Most of it's on my chest now. It always starts on my chest and it always finishes on my chest. And in the middle, it's all over my face. Ew.
That's what she said.
The cold. The cold. Get your mind out of the gutter. All of you, including myself. Anyway. Ew, just internally cringed so hard at myself. That was so bad. Anyway, so yeah, it's now Thursday and
by about 5 o'clock-ish on Tuesday, I was absolutely shattered. I'd plowed my way through a good chunk of this book and I was absolutely shattered, and I was like, I need to go and have a lie down. So I did for about an hour and a half, and then not long after, Andy got home from work, we had some tea, I watched a little bit of TV, and I promptly went to bed. Then I was working on Wednesday, and then today I've been working from home. So I have decided to finish off Phantasma today by Kaylee Smith. I will say, one of the options that I gave Instagram to control was an activity for me to do, either playing on the Switch or doing some colouring in. I did neither of those activities, so I did allow Instagram to control that. The winner was in fact colouring, but I just didn't fit it in, unfortunately. It is what it is. Had I been just audiobooking this and not tabbing the shit out of it, I would have been able to fit the colouring in, but as it turned out, I really wanted to annotate this and tab it up, so I was following along with the book. So I'd done it under the assumption that I would be doing an activity along with the audiobook, but that turns out that was not the case. So it is what it is. Editing Steph here. I did want to mention that I did one more poll that I completely forgot to mention in the wrap up of this video, but I allowed Instagram to pick what Instagram post I was going to do that day. So this was the the options, and then this was the result, and I did in fact post that picture, so they also got to choose that as well. Just wanted to mention it because I completely forgot, and it was another poll that I did do that day, because the polls that I did that day, I don't know, this went differently in my head, I will say, but you know, I hope regardless, because I'm currently editing it, so obviously I know the condition it's in right now. I'm currently editing it. I hope you have enjoyed it. Let's get back to me wrapping this video up. Anyway, Phantasma. I really enjoyed this. I haven't run it through Core Power yet. I reckon it's going to get like a 4.5 star. 4 to a 4.5 star. I really, really liked this. This was really, really good. It had me hooked immediately, which is what I really, really wanted, on the basis that I have been struggling with my fantasy a little bit. And it really did have me hooked. It really does have that element of romantasy with horror, and I think it blends it really, really well. There were times in this where I was truly terrified. And even the bits that weren't necessarily like, I don't know if it was there to terrify the shit out of you or not. It really makes you think, or it did with me. But there were the haunts and the devils and things like that, and all of the gory scenes that you saw in this book. But on top of that, there was the element of bringing Ophelia's OCD to life in her head, essentially, and making that an entity rather than it just being a thing that she thinks of. Really making it an entity and giving it a voice and bringing it to life in the story. And that, for me, was probably one of the most terrifying elements of this book, because it was truly frightening, the things that OCD can do to a person. There is a note in the back of this from Kaylee, who does suffer with OCD herself, and Ophelia's OCD is Kaylee's OCD, essentially. She's like brought it to life within her character and wanted to portray it as she, you know, lives with it. And I think that's absolutely fascinating, but also terrifying at the same time. Like, I cannot believe that there are people walking around on the daily with this going on in their head. It's terrifying. So I thought it was really well represented. I mean, I don't have OCD, so I'm not saying that from someone who struggles with it themselves, but I'm saying it from a sense that the author, with the author note at the end, I thought it was done really, really well, and I really thought that it was truly terrifying, which I think was the point. So I loved the plot of the story. I loved where this was going. I really enjoyed Ophelia and Blackwell as characters as well, and even the side characters as well, like Cade. I really hated him, like viscerally hated him. So, you know, when we got further through the book, you know, things happened, and truly deserved. So this was really, really good. Very gory. Loved the writing style. Loved the world building. The end went in a direction I did not see coming, but what I will say is that some of that confused me ever so slightly. Just some of the storytelling of the ending and the reveals and stuff confused me ever so slightly, but overall Absolutely loved this, thought it was fantastic. I'm so excited about the second one because we are following Genevieve in the second one, and I absolutely adore her as a character, so I'm really looking forward to getting more from her as a character, because she was only in this for a little bit at the beginning and then a little bit towards the end, but what we got from her, I loved it. She was my favourite character for sure, but I overall truly loved this, and I loved seeing Ophelia come out of herself a lot. She had this path that she was following at the beginning of the book. She was going to be following in her mum's footsteps. She didn't really have a choice in the matter, and then Vivi went missing and Ophelia had to try and find her and ended up entering Phantasma. And she really came into her own within Phantasma. She became a much stronger character. She became a much stronger person, physically, mentally, and I just loved to see her come into her own within Phantasma, and I thought that was fantastic. So really enjoyed this. I don't know what I was expecting from this. I don't think I was expecting necessarily a 5-star. It was definitely high on a pedestal for me because of the glowing reviews that I've heard, but it wasn't one that I was necessarily prioritizing over other books that I've still got high on pedestals for me, if that makes any sense. Like, it was up there, but it wasn't up there, you know? I don't know how to explain that, but I didn't go into this thinking it was going to be 5-star, but I thoroughly enjoyed it a lot more than I anticipated I was going to. So that's fantastic news, and the fact that the next one comes out very early on in April, also fantastic news. So yeah, I've done a spoilery vlog for this for my patrons as well, so I'm looking forward to getting that up for them because there was lots of shocking moments and reveals in that, so I'm hoping that that comes out okay as well. There were portions of it where I completely forgot that I was meant to be filming that as a whole, which is, you know, typical for me. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. I reckon about 4.5 stars. I had a very good time. I did love my snacks. I loved my lunch. So thanks for helping me pick those. I can't remember what else I did, what else we picked in this video. So I hope it comes out okay though. I've no idea how long this is going to be or how it's going to come out, but I do hope it comes out okay. I hope you have enjoyed it. It's essentially just been a Phantasma reading vlog, but y'all picked the book. So, and some other activities for me to do. So I hope you have enjoyed it. Chat to me in the comments down below. Let me know if you enjoyed this. Do you want me to do this again? Have you got any ideas on other things that y'all could vote on for me to do this again? And thank you again to the sponsor of this video, who are Serious Readers. Again, if you would like to get a discount from Serious Readers, you can use the code Steph, which will get you £150 off a Serious Light and also free UK shipping. Please do check them out in the description box down below. Cannot recommend them enough. And thanks again to them for sponsoring this video, and I will see you in whatever comes next. Bye for now.